Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, Wrestling with Books. If this is your first time here, my name is Nina, and while I do love wrestling, what I talk about on this channel are books. And today I'm going to be talking about the books I most recently finished. Now, on the off chance that you do want to hear me talk about wrestling or Disney or nerdy things like that, you can check out my other channel, Wrestling with Disney. But for now, we're going to get into the books that kind of closed out my 2022 reading year. So I didn't get to do a wrap up in December for my November book, so I'm gonna split up my final books of the year into 2 videos. So I'll probably have 5 to 6 in each video. And right now I'm still currently reading Bone and Spindle and just doing my Christmas Carol reread. I'm filming this on Christmas Eve. Oh, that's such a good story. What's your favorite adaptation of it to watch? I know, well, as amazing as the book is, this season at least, I'm into the Muppets Christmas Carol. So I'm wondering what your vibe is. But let's get to the wrap up. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Along Came a Spider by James Patterson. Oh, hello, Buster. Buster just came. James Patterson, this is like, you know, like his big coming out book. It's a crime mystery. It came out back in 1993. I rented it from my library, and the reason I wanted to is because I had just finished the James Patterson autobiography, and so he talks about writing for Alex Cross and what made his writing style different, and so I kind of wanted to see it in action. I've read, you know, some of his later books, and I've read his romance books especially, but I had never really read this signature series of his. I did like it. Alex Cross, he's a homicide detective, and he has a secret affair with a woman who is part of the FBI, but this is going to be a really difficult time for them because, oh god, what's the guy's name? Sonji. I say in my head is Sonji. I don't think that's what it is. It's Gary Sonji, and he is determined to be like the world's biggest famous criminal like ever, and he's really twisted, and that's what makes this book stand out, I think, is just the twistedness of its main kind of villain, so to speak, or criminal really, and how they go about solving it, and the kind of twists and turns of what's really happening here, you know. It was fast-paced, quick, just like he said, those like quick kind of Patterson chapters. Almost can kind of sometimes feel abrupt, you know, because then it's just like done. On to the next scene, on to the next scene. But let's go on to the next book. So the next book I read is, I call them self-help books. I guess now they're known as like just nonfiction or self-growth books, but this one has a long title. It's The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, 10 Unconventional Laws to Redefine Your Life and Succeed on Your Own Terms by Vishen Lakhiani. And I got this one from my library as well. It originally came out in 2016. And he helps you kind of approach common misconceptions about money, happiness, time, personal potential, productivity, and teaches you how to overcome them to find your true passion and purpose. And I really liked his writing style. Things were still given to you with science and facts, but were really easy to follow along and understand, and did delve into kind of the metaphysical side of things too, which I always like. So if you're looking for some self-improvement books for the new year, that's one I would definitely add. Now this one I'm pretty sure I must have added to my list because it's somebody on BookTube, but I don't remember who. And the book is The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh. So this was another library rental. It's a fiction book, came out in 2022, and it's about a man named Leo. He's an obituary writer, which I really found fascinating, just learning about his job and his office and things like that. I felt they did a really good job of that. And you know, he's married, he has a daughter with his wife Emma, and she has a cancer scare, which leads to him kind of, this is what obituary writers kind of do, they pre-write obituaries, you know, and he's kind of just researching about his wife for this purpose, and things just start to not add up. And we begin to learn that she is not who she says she is, but why? What's going on? What are her secrets? And that's what the story kind of leads you through. So it was kind of long and hard to get to it. It wasn't something I picked, you know, like I didn't guess it, but I didn't necessarily love it either. But if you like a slow kind of mystery, then this could be one that you'd really like. And then next up was Vampire Weekend by Mike Chen. So I did a standalone review for this because I did get this one from NetGalley. It's going to be coming out January 31st, 2023. So if you like Mike Chen from his Star Wars books, or if you just really like vampires, you might want to add this one to your list. I find it so contemporary, so it's not your typical vampire book where maybe it has like kind of a historical base or things like that. It is about how vampires exist in the modern world, specifically Louise Chen, who is given up on family because she is, you know, immortal, and eventually she ends up meeting a distant relative, now distant just because all the time, named Ian, and he kind of cracks beneath her shell and figures out who she really is, both in terms of how they're related and in terms of that she's a vampire. So if that sounds like something fun for you, you should check it out. Next up, I started reading, and I think I read this months ago but never added it to my Goodreads, so that's why it's coming up in this time frame. But it's called Slaughter at Wolf Creek. It's a Ben Savage Saloon Ranger novel series, like that's a series by William W. Johnstone and his son J.A. Johnstone, and it's a Western that I got from NetGalley, and I'm gonna keep requesting more because I loved it. Okay, so there's a new stranger in town at Bluffs. God, what's it called? Like Bluffs or something like that. I can't remember. The new guy in town who's like the fastest draw in the West, and people start showing up dead. And so they're like, is it this guy? Why is he here? Why has he come to our town? But then these other, like, you know, cowboys come in and they say they're heading out to cattle ranch, but they don't seem like cattle ranchers. So it's like all this like fun stuff, and it's kind of like your own Western mystery, and it takes me back to Hill Valley in the 1880s, you know. That's like my only Western point of reference, but it is my Back to the Future of choice. I know, I get a lot of hate for that, but it is my favorite. So reading a Western like this, I really, really enjoyed it and look forward to reading more. So that was already 5 of the books I'd read, so I'm gonna save the next 5 or 6 for our next wrap-up video. But out of these, we had 2 from NetGalley and 3 that were rented. So I'm trying to, you know, get through those NetGalley reads, but also I like getting through the rentals on my wish list, because those are ones that I know I'm gonna like, right? The NetGalley ones are always a bit of a gamble, but the ones I'm putting on my wish list, I think I know I'm gonna like them. So let me know if you've read any of these, and I will see you guys on that next wrap-up coming up. And I've got some other videos I'm filming, and I can't wait to chat more books with you. Thanks for being here, guys.